birthday. Welcome to you.
Muraya, read the script.
It's my birthday! Welcome to the show. I am Muraya, lovely brown as always. I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Happy birthday.
How you doing?
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
Happy birthday,
Whoa.
Muraya.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Happy birthday, Muraya.
Today's
You
also
look
Mr.
amazing.
Kola Erosho's birthday. He's part of our
Yes.
producers. Happy birthday, Mr. Kola. We love you. God bless you. All these years we'll be sharing our birthdays together.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Kola, as well.
Thank you,
Mr.
BC.
Kola.
Thank you.
Bless
How you doing?
I'm doing great. We're celebrating you today. I have a long banter, but there's no need. Let's just talk about you today. So you look amazing, by the way.
Yes, House of BC in the building. So I came today. I came this morning and I just wore my regular clothes. This is like just gave me a happy birthday gift, and it just gave me like, this is a perfect birthday outfit.
Yeah.
So and it was very, very. Thank you so much.
You're a wonderful person.
Thank you. God bless
I pray
you.
that God will bless you,
Amen.
uplifting you from grace to grace to grace to grace. Amen.
How you doing, Nima Akasha Zveri?
I'm fine. And okay, yesterday was a very, very important and fun few days for me.
Yeah, you saw the wait for the first lady
yes. So the first
thingy.
lady and the deputy governor's wife, Mrs. Hamza, says,
hello
the ladies
to the ladies.
How are the ladies of your view? And, you know, it was an impactful event for me. Just, you know, rating myself and, you know, my ability to speak, something I really love doing. So I'm grateful to God for that. But it's your birthday. Let's not talk too much. I'll be giving you people feelers on the post-sister seminar 2022.
Okay.
And I think my picture looked very good on their presentation.
Yeah, fine babe now.
Nice, very good. Well done. But it was nice. It was a good experience.
It was really.
Glad.
And the person who spoke on, Dr. Bakare spoke on women and medical and their health. And I think I kept marking myself. So I'm doing 9 out of 10. Well, so we must take care of ourselves. So my birthday next year, I continue on the health check.
Good. How are you doing, Top for Tops?
I'm very good. This morning, I really, you know, you were saying yesterday that this is Mamaka's birthday as well. And,
yes.
You know, and I was just thinking about, I wanted to just wear, you know, she always gives us jewelry. I was looking for one of the jewelry she gave me. So, and usually when you were not going to do anything because you felt this is your first birthday without her, but I think that this is why you should celebrate, because she would have wanted you to celebrate. She always celebrated, no matter how small the occasion was.
I got a lot of calls from aunties that usually I call my mom. You know, they called me this morning and it was quite emotional to hear from them. So, I mean, listen, it's not easy because I've never had a birthday without her. And it's always, so it's the very first time. So it's kind of lonely, you know, but it's all good. Thank God. It's all good.
For you.
Thank you. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. Wike rejects one-on-one parley with Atiku over crisis. Banks take over discos, new boards for Kaduna Kano Benin distribution companies. How to avert another recession by LCCI. Thugs attack Amotekun boss. Traveling Buhari's guards in gun battle with bandits. 29,128 make 2022 Hajj trip, says Nakon. Judge sacked for dissolving marriage, marrying woman. That was in Lagos State. So which story are we starting with?
So banks have taken over the Kaduna Kano Benin discos and the Ibadan discos. According to them, these 4 discos are to be managed by new boards following their takeover by those banks. And the Kaduna and one of them, Fidelity Bank and Afrexim Bank, will collateralize the shares of Kano, Benin, and Kaduna Discos. They've also appointed boards for them. They call them placeholder boards till they effect this. We know that some of these discos have not been doing well so far. And I hope that this takeover means that they get more capital to do better. I hope it's not just a takeover because they're failing and business as usual.
Yeah, so the attention of the state government has been drawn to a viral video circulating social media space wherein they said Mr. Olayemi Ayeni, who is the complainant, alleged that a former customary court member, Mr. Ishola Razaki Adeyemi, abused his office by exhibiting unprofessional conduct in a customary court case involving the complainant and his wife, and proceeded to snatch his wife and children from him. Now, this matter happened between 2014 and 2015 and was investigated by the Lagos State Judicial Service Commission. The findings of the investigation was what led to the termination of the appointment of the member of the customary court. But then a viral video was posted at the time in 2016, and members of the public kept, calling on the state to do something about it. However, the state have been trying to reach this man in question. They are putting this up now so that anybody who has an information about him can, give it to them. So they are saying you can say SVRT on Twitter or DSVA on Instagram so that they can follow up with the man.
Amotekun boss was attacked. Actually, it wasn't directed at the Amotekun boss, but a gunfire ensued and he was caught in between. So the situation was that in Oshogbo local government specifically, the local government chairman, Isale Oshogbo, Osun State, the local government chairman's name is Bolaji Jimo, and he's been accused of conniving with National Population Commission, NPC. So some thugs came, masked thugs. They came in wearing in a branded SUV. So it wasn't like any small car, or they came in a big SUV, and they came with dangerous weapons, pump-action guns, and they were shooting at the Amotekun personnel that were trying to protect the local government chairman. And they shot at him. They didn't say there was anybody injured or anybody died. That wasn't reported. The report just carried that Amotekun boss was attacked. Comrade Oshu Amotekun comrade Amitolu Shitu, they attacked him with a new pump-action gun. And Amotekun's press release after that was that we're not part of that. Amotekun is not partisan. They are not protecting any high and mighty person. They just want to ensure that everyone's life within the community they are matters. And I don't know, I don't know who is sponsoring, because this certainly was a sponsored attack. Somebody sponsored to attack another person. And we're not even in election period yet. Let us just calm down.
Okay, so Governor Wike and the Atiku Buhaha has yet to end, because Governor Wike has rejected a one-on-one parley with the presidential flag bearer Atiku for PDP. He's insisting that Atiku has been insincere and that he should rather speak to his strategy team, which composed of Governor Seyi Makinde, Samuel Ortom of Benue State, ex-governors Hassan Jakombo and others. Those are the members of the strategy team, that he should liaise with them, not him directly. And his grouse was that they need to explain why IU and Atiku, the IU and Atiku, that's the chairman of the VLC, must explain why they did not accept the recommendation by the committee, the 17-man committee, 14 of which had recommended that Governor Wike should be the vice presidential candidate. They also need a restructuring of the party that includes the removal of the current BOT chairman, which is IU, adherence to the power rotation between the North and South, intra-party inclusion, and offers on the table for the Wike's camp if Atiku wins the presidential poll. So, according to them, there were a lot of those things that were agreed between the parties, which Atiku backed on. He turned his back on. And that's why Wike is insisting that he's not going to have a one-on-one with him. He's talked to the strategy team going forward. There are talks of PDP trying to make Governor Wike the chairman, the DG of the Atiku campaign team. That would be great, but unfortunately, he's not even listening to them right now.
He's still
Okay, let's move on to the Punch. COVID-19 cases jumped by 67% in 2 weeks. Picture story of passengers traveling to the north for Sallah. Government abduct Chinese at Kwara Quarry. Kill policeman. 1,300 Kano intending pilgrims still stranded. Lagos couple lose 4 children in midnight fire. Khan disowns Ondo pastor arrested for alleged abduction. Subsidy probe reps summon Emefiele, Sylvia, Ahmed and Kiari. Terrorists attack Buhari's advance team, kill 2 policemen. Lagos Kano FCT Ogun lead telecom subscribers growth. And state chairman reject Wike's camp anti-IU plot. Okay, let's start with the
story. Very sad story of a couple, Chukwudi Michael and Bolani Michael, lost 4 of their children to a fire that happened in their 2-room apartment on Tapa Road, Okeoko, Isao, Korodu area of Lagos State. It said the fire started at about 1 a.m. on Sunday, June 26th, and one of the children, Jeremiah, died on the spot. So there was one of them that survived. I think the girl who was sleeping in the room with the parents. But then this man said he heard the screams of his children and he woke up. And by the time he got there, fire had broken out in the house and he had to scream for his neighbors to come in to help rescue the children. They were able to rescue the 4 of them. One was already burnt to burnt, like badly burnt. He died on the spot. The other 3 they were able to take to the hospital, but he also died. So he had lost his 4 sons. One is Prayer, 18 years old, Trust in God, 14, and Ibube, 10. Jeremiah, 12-year-old, was the one that died on the spot. So he said that the fire service did not even show up till the next morning after the neighbors had helped to put out the fire. The police fire service are saying that they showed up and they were able to rescue 5 persons from the incident. Investigations are ongoing. We right now do not know the cause of the fire. My heart really goes out to them. It's a painful thing to lose children like that.
4 children, one night. And God forbid.
Let me take the major headline. According to the NCDC, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the COVID-19 cases have continued to spike up. According to them, in weeks 21 and 22, they had about 15,347 cases. But in week 23 and 24, they had 75,277 reported cases. That's according to their test, which is about 67% increase. And, you know, the UK also is presently dealing with increase in COVID-19 cases. But I'll take the report of the Pilgrim Professor of Public Health at the University of Ilorin, Professor Tanimola, talking about pilgrims going for testing and, you know, this making them discover more cases, saying that COVID-19 is not going anywhere. It has not gone anywhere. It's just that, you know, it's no longer as, dangerous as it was because a lot of people are now vaccinated. And so people are more protected and they're not just falling over by that. But, you know, the test will still reveal that there is COVID-19 cases out there.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You have a story in Punch?
Yes, so sad story of a Chinese man kidnapped in Shao, Kwara State, Shao local government, Shao in Moro local government of Kwara State. So this Chinese man works in the quarry. A policeman was shot dead. Another policeman sustained gunshot injury. At the state police PRO, SP Ajayi Akosomi, confirms the story that the command is working around the clock to get the victim rescued and the perpetrators apprehended. However, it was saying that the heart goes out to the family of the policeman who lost his life and that the entire police command within the state of Kwara has been thrown into mourning because of the killing of one of their operatives. The response from the Kwara State House of Assembly was to urge the Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, to direct the 16 local government areas to strengthen the local vigilante. When I read that, I had to say it because they did not ask for the police to be strengthened. They asked for the local vigilantes to be strengthened. Obviously, we need state policing, and I don't know how long it will take us to repeat it, but we'll keep on saying it until they get it.
Okay, so I was going to take the story. The Khan President, Reverend Dr. Samson Ayokunle, has distanced the whole of Khan from the assistant pastor of Whole Bible Believers Church, Hosea Peter Asumosa, who was the one that was arrested for detaining children and family members in his bunker. Remember, if you recall, we took the reports where they had promised that he knew the date of rapture, and they've been there. So the pastor, Samson, I can say that it is totally wrong for anybody that is not a real pastor. No true pastor would claim to know the date of the rapture, because the Bible said that it's clear that only God knows the date. And he has asked that the security officers to investigate and ensure that they prosecute him accordingly, and his entire cohort if they are found guilty of breaking any law in the country. Okay, let's move on quickly now to Daily Sun. Vice presidential slot, APC, LP, NNPP, other step-up consultations. Bandits attack Buhari's advanced convoy in Katsina, 2 injured. Oshunguba, INEC takes tough stance against vote buying and vote selling. Again, FG rules out removal of petrol subsidy. Dangote launches cement promo with 32.3 million gifts. NSIA Netherlands firm enter into $50 million carbon reduction deal. Shun tribal sentiments, vote competent president in 2023. Ohaneze tells Nigerians. And Senate seat, APC insists on Lawan and Akpabio. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Oshunguba, INEC, of course, is warning that, they're going to do everything possible to prevent vote buying during the Osun elections, July 16, as next Upper Saturday. And that, the trend that, people thought was allowed during the Ekiti elections will be prevented completely. This was according to the Oyo State's resident electoral commissioner for INEC.
Okay, let me link that to the story with the APC and the other parties. So INEC has given the July 15th deadline. All the APC, LP, NNPP had put placeholders for their VP stores. INEC said you have to July 15th. So all their consultations must end on or before that day to provide the dates.
9 more days to go.
They have more 9 more. So LP is saying that they should be ready by Friday to get their own VP stores. Obviously, the APC is inundated with all the issues concerning the Muslim tickets, because many are saying that's the best option. However, the Christian community are saying they are speaking against it. Afenifere has spoken against it. Khan has spoken against it, saying that they shouldn't try it. So it's a huge selection between the devil and the deep blue sea. Which one do you go for? We'll see how they decide. Okay, any other story?
So the national women's leader of Haneze Ndibo, Rita Chukwuji, yesterday appealed to Nigerians to think about the future of the country and its economy while considering the presidential candidate to support in the next year's election. So she was asking that it's very important that we consider we drop ethnic considerations and vote a credible and competent candidate for the 2023. And she was reminding Nigerians that all the challenges we face in security, poverty, and all other socioeconomic challenges does not know any form of nationality. It affects all Nigerians. And so we need to be very careful on how we decide who will hold the flag for us in 2023. And he said that that's the Ohaneze women, had chosen to embrace a competent candidate that will rebuild the country and its economy for the better. And they went ahead to advise that what we need now is to make sure that everybody gets their PVC so that we can go out and vote for the people we believe can take Nigeria to a higher place.
So let me take the story of I didn't know there was something called NSIA. This is my first time. Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. I've entered into an agreement with Vitol, a Netherlands counterparts, and the conversation is to create a $50 million carbon reduction deal. And this process is to help reduce emission. The Nigerian government is saying that natural gas is their own pathway into reducing emission. They say that they are joining Russia in planning for 2060, as opposed to the Europe and US saying 2050 zero net emission. I'm a bit worried about when we sign all these agreements, because we need to increase production. And you will see China, India, they're not entering into this kind of deals because they know that any deal they enter into might stop them from increasing production capacity and getting their own source of energy as cheap as possible. But the good news here is it is not just Nigeria. It's about supporting companies that are promoting green energy. So these funds would fund would be available to companies that are promoting green energy, and you can apply for it, obviously.
Okay, moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Sallah bandits attack Buhari's advanced security convoy. Why monthly fuel subsidy costs shot up by 989% in 7 years. AGF, Enamikwe removed over borrowing to pay salaries comment. Cracks in ASU as medical lecturers distance themselves from strike. UK court to sentence 85-year-old Nigerian-born doctor for killing woman during procedure. Dangote Cement to reward customers with 1 billion naira in new promo. Missing certificate, I made second test WAEC result in 1976 is Okowa. We'll adopt ways to defend our people, Southwest governors. And why Obi Koganso stocks collapse, Okukwe and Ume. This story, and we were seeing the picture story, the president receiving the head of OPEC, and it was sad like that. Unfortunately, he passed on many hours after that, 11 p.m. that evening. I was really, really sad. Wow.
Very sad.
Yeah.
So the presidency has hailed the gallantry of the security aides to the president who were deployed ahead of his visit to Daura for the Sallah celebration and were attacked by bandits on the way, but they, opened fire on the bandits and repelled the bandits back into their hideouts. But unfortunately, in the same story, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Aminu Umar, in charge of the Dutsinma area command in Katsina, was ambushed and killed by bandits in a fierce gun duel. This for me is so sad that, it's gotten to this point. We hear these stories every day, but then when our presidency is Convoy and team are no longer safe, we can safely admit that this has become a serious national issue because it's no longer the way they put it. It's
beyond serious.
Beyond serious. It's the worst of worst.
So another story is Isiaka Maman, an 85-year-old Nigerian-born doctor, is to be sentenced by the Manchester Crown Court for gross negligence and manslaughter of a patient at the Royal Oldham Hospital, United Kingdom. Now, according to the Manchester Evening News in September 2018, they said Maman, despite objections from the patient, so the patient and the husband, he attempted a dangerous procedure. And that procedure was taking a bone marrow sample from the woman's sternum after failing to obtain a sample from her hip in the first attempt. Now, they said he inserted the biopsy needle but missed the sternum altogether, causing a fatal puncture wound to the pericardium, which encloses the heart. The mother of three lost consciousness immediately. Her husband came running out of the room shouting, "He killed her, he killed her." I told him to stop 3 times. He did not listen. And she was pronounced dead later that day. So they have also said that this Mamam 3 years earlier carried out almost the same procedure on a 64-year-old man who suffered cardiac arrest the same day. Although that one survived, he was left permanently disabled and suffering from mobility problems. So he's going to be sentenced because of that negligence. And they are also having conversations about his age. Said he presented a different age when he came into work. He's been working in the UK since 1991. They are not really sure. That's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time.
Okay, I have the story. The chairman of the Governors Forum, Southwestern Governors Forum, Governor Akeredolu, was speaking in the station yesterday, saying that Southwest would have to protect themselves, that they've learned lessons from the Owo massacre, and that they cannot continue to secure Nigeria with the Central Police Command in Abuja. That we need to have state police. It's a situation where one commander sits in Abuja to give orders to the rest of the country is no longer fashionable. It can't work. Since that we know the limitations of our security, which have caused what we have right now. The worsening security has to be controlled. Nigeria must begin to seriously consider the issue of state police. So he's saying they will adopt ways of defending their own people. They don't need to tell us exactly how they plan to do that, but they cannot sit back and wait, and they have to ensure that the Southwest region at least is secured. Okay, any other story in Vanka? Let's move on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Workers threaten to shut down port operation at Nigeria's largest containers terminal. Terrorists attack Buhari's advance team in Katsina. We talked about that earlier. Federal government to Britain. It's time for our looted artifacts to return home. Hajj, Nakun transport 29,128 pilgrims, 920 officials in 73 flights. Atiku's absence amid crisis causes anxiety amongst PDP stakeholders. We will call off strike immediately if AFG accepts the UTAS and honors 2009 agreement, says ASU. Controversial 4.194 trillion subsidy payment, Accountant General's office opens up. Okay.
So let me take the federal government to Britain, the Minister for Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, stated during his visit to London, he was at the British Museum. He said that the British authority has taken care of our artifacts long enough, that they have no right to keep holding on to it. That at first the British authority was like, we didn't ask for our artifacts back. But now we have asked that a formal letter was written in October last year, 9 months ago, a formal request for the return of all the Benin bronzes, all the artifacts, and that they've been clamoring for these things to be returned. That Germany has already returned some, and Germany did not colonize Nigeria. That Belgium, France are cooperating and returning. Even Canada has promised to return, but Britain hasn't. About 1,130 Benin bronze heads, you know, and other artifacts are being kept in good condition by the British, but we're asking
we want it now. They have helped us. God bless them.
Thank you.
That's the hot topic. I don't even know what you want. Anyway, let's go. We'll come back. Move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. It's common knowledge that the state of our insecurity in Nigeria is alarming. When it gets to the presidency, it's a whole nother conversation. Yesterday, our president's convoy, his advance team onwards to Katsina, were attacked, and they lost lives, and so many were injured. Thankfully, they were able to repel the attackers, but still, the fact that they were attacked in the first place raises a whole other conversation on if indeed we are on top of our security apparatus in our country. What are your thoughts on this convoy that was attacked, and how does it make you feel as a Nigerian? What do you make of the fact that our president keeps saying, our presidency keeps telling us that they have it under control? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. We're all here when they attacked the governor's convoy sometime early this year, even last year, and we're all in shock that a whole governor. Now, a whole president, thank God he wasn't there.
It was the advance team.
It was the advance team. Now, if they have the effrontery to shoot at a presidency's advance team, is the president safe himself? And do you think they are taking this thing as serious, this issue of insecurity, as seriously as they should? Or maybe this would be a reason for them to take it even more serious than they have taken it in the past.
You know, this is like when you bring in a dangerous animal from the wild and you want to keep it and domesticate it. And you pet it, you feed it, you smile, it looks at you, it smiles back. In your mind, I'm taming this one. The day that dangerous animal rises up, it will eat not just you, but everything that surrounds you. This is the case of Nigeria right now when it comes to insecurity. I am worried because it seems like these people are getting bolder and bolder by the day. There is no form of fear. Before, with criminality, you do it with, you know, there's this fear, like, let's hide, let's do a little, let's step back, Now, they keep encroaching and encroaching and encroaching. And if someone as powerful as the president or his convoy is not safe, then I wonder who is safe in the country. And this should be an eye-opener for our security chiefs to see that the days these people will come, your security guards may not be able to save you and do what needs to be done. So that instead of relaxing and feeling, and we're having conversations, you're petting this, you kid gloves, let's not, they are Nigerians too, let's not take them away. You stand your ground and do the needful, because it will come to a time where you may not even be able to curtail it. They say when trouble is squatting, it's easy to push it down than when trouble stands up. If it stands up, it stands toe to toe with you, it will be more difficult. That's where Nigeria is gradually getting to, where trouble is facing us like the same height, 6 feet, 6 feet. We're looking at each other. It's becoming more difficult.
Right.
If the governors need to call for, some governors are already saying we may need to go the way of being able to defend ourselves. But I don't want it to just be talk shop. Yeah. What moves are they making?
They can't tell us so. Because the one they're on social
They'll
media.
get to hear.
Let me come to you, Nima. What are your thoughts on this when you heard this story? Did your heart skip like many Nigerians?
Of course it did.
Well, no.
Of course it did. I was scared that, you know, the president could have been in that convoy. And we just would have risked having our president killed. And it would be safe, like I said during the newspaper review now, to admit where this has gotten to, and that, you know, we have not done as much as people say they want us to do. We can safely admit it, as the federal government can safely admit that really we've not really done as much. You see this
denial,
this, you know, politicking on this issue, and all of those things are not necessary. Shame no, they catch you. If you know your faults, admit it, and then you find a way to solve it. Come out and say, okay, I am helpless as a government. If it is help you want to go and look for outside, if it is to call yourself to order, your security chiefs, if you need to take them out. I don't know. We used to have
them. Remember, they changed.
They changed them, but we still have. In fact, these bandits, as BC said, they're not squat again. They're not there on top of house. They're already on top of you. You know, so we must be safe to admit it. Just talk through.
Yeah.
This thing
I would like to hear from the Minister of Information at this moment. Like, what exactly?
But what would you hear? When it comes out, you know, just as they reported in the Vanguard this morning, the convoy of the president, the presidency celebrates the gallantry of his, you know, his security team. Only 2 persons were injured. Nobody was killed. And then they separated it and said the ACP was killed in a separate attack. Somebody was killed. An attack happened. As in, there's no difference between when the president is passing through anymore. Yeah. No. So since we don't know, say no be poor man against, let's admit we need help and do something drastic.
When you look at countries like Qatar or San Marino that don't have forests, these are countries that don't have forests. Can we take a cue that can't we just blow up our forests? I mean, the issue is that is where they are, because there are countries that don't have forests and they're still growing economically. So maybe we should just take a decision that let us blow up all the forests across the country, because that's where they hide.
Kebbi State's governor was attacked. This happened in March this year. The gunmen attacked the deputy governor in Kebbi State's Convoy. At least 16 soldiers were injured in that attack. Some were killed. There were hoodlums attacked the Lagos State governor's convoy, January 2022. Borno State convoy, Governor Babagana Zulum, was attacked October 2021. It's in 2020, they attacked another governor. Like, Otom was attacked in 2020. There are several, it's not this, they've attacked governors. They've attacked the regular Nigerians. They've attacked church. They've attacked mosque. They've attacked business owners. They've attacked VIPs. They've attacked House of Representatives.
Somebody's house. Somebody's house they attacked.
Yeah. They've attacked governors.
Yes.
Now.
They've attacked houses of assembly.
They've attacked houses of assembly. Now they've attacked the president.
So
you know, like,
that's it.
Let's just pack up. Yeah. You know, so I feel that there is no denying the insecurity challenges we are facing in this country. And there's no denying the fact that these people are confident enough to feel like we are in charge. We can go anywhere and anything can happen. But the worrisome part is, if you read the comments of people online, people were actually happy it happens to they wish the president was there. Some people were commenting they wish the president was there. For me, I'm like, Andre, like, people have liver. Even if you're thinking it, should you type it? But it shows how disenchanted people have come to see our leaders, that this leadership, it is good it happened to the president. So I wish president was even there so that I can understand what we are going through, how insecure we feel in the country. And that is something that should worry any leader. It's like your children telling you that we don't send. Mommy, I wish you were the one involved in the accident. Maybe that way you understand how we are feeling in this house. Maybe you should have been the one to eat the poison. Our leaders need to understand how difficult it is for the average Nigerian to live. The trauma of every day fearing that you might be the next person attacked or you might be the next statistics. And empathize and carry out actions to show that they really are concerned. Because until their actions show, people will just feel like another person has gotten attacked again.
Let me go on a break, because there are two conversations. The insecurity and then people's reactions to this, what happened to the president. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views on the attack on our president's convoy. 081-076-416-729. That's the number to call. And you can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so Tokwe mentioned an angle which I thought is also important, the fact that people's responses to these, and it goes back to the vitriol we hear from the streets of Twitter, streets of social media. Even on the campaign, the various groups now, there's Batified, there's Obedient, there's Articulated, and everybody's street they're all attacking each other. And these are the same people that are saying these things about our president, they wish it was him. So are there more lessons to learn here? Because the people that you're pretending over, the people that you're president over, are already angry. There's so much anger in the land. Now, my question is the anger just on the streets of social media, or is it really on the streets of Nigeria? Because politicians always feel as if the ones on social media, they are different from the guys on the streets. But it looks like the guys on the streets are equally different. They're equally angry.
Everybody's angry, and I will not blame them. I just wish that as we express the anger, that the people who are supposed to listen and make amends are taking us as serious. It seems like it's not today we started expressing anger. It's not today Nigerians will say, if it touches you, we no go agree or we no go agree. If it touches you, it has to touch you for you to feel it. You have to do this for you to feel it. It's not today. But it seems like, well, they are in another world. We're in a different world. We do what needs to be done. We do what we think we can do. We do what is within our capacity to do, and that's all we can do. But Nigerians are demanding more. We need more accountability, especially with the issues of insecurity. We've been talking about the fact that the federal security agencies are not enough. We don't have enough manpower. We don't have enough equipment. Monies that have been earmarked to buy our equipment are, what's it called? Yes, have been eaten, stolen until today. Nobody has been held to pay for it. We don't have all of that. And we still hear condolences here and there tomorrow. So Nigerians are really angry, and I would not blame them.
Let me take this call from Joseph Okukwe. Good morning, Joseph. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I want to thank all of you there at the studio. Man, this is my first time of calling you.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
I have been a regular listener to your program. And I know God is going to bless you so much.
Amen.
And bless you and promote you more and more.
Amen.
You see, this topic you brought in this morning is so challenging.
Go ahead.
So challenging to the level that it is touching humanity down to the soul. The insecurity in our country is something, it has gone to a bad level that even the average housewife, the market woman, the students in the schools are not comfortable any longer. Nobody is really feeling secure. One wonders what is happening. Well, I'll just be very short because it's so annoying the way things are. In my personal opinion, I am convinced that both the president and the people who are at the helm of things know what is happening. They are just playing us games I'm talking from my own view. I'm not talking from anybody's view. This is my personal view. I believe that Mr. President knows what is happening. I believe that the security chiefs know what is happening. I believe the head of affairs in this country, they know what is happening. And they are waiting for people to die. And when people die, they will now come and say they are condemning it through the television, condemning it through the radio, condemning it through the political forums.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. So I have a message from Mr. Adebayo from Ojodu. He says that what happened to the Presidency Advance Convoy is sincerely just a message to the Presidency that if they want to attack him, they can. Yeah. And this could happen to the Presidency Convoy. It can happen to any one of our governors or political leaders. You see, I would like to link this to what those who were captured by these bandits and came out. Many of them said that, listen, they are angry with our president, that he made promises. If you recall, was it, I can't remember who it was. Was it Reverend or Prelate? Yeah. Prelate that was saying that they are particularly angry with our president because he made a promise to them. Now, I don't know how he made the promise to them. During the election period, there's a school of thought that these guys were brought in during that period for elections, and then they were supposed to take care of them, give them social amenities, provide for them, and they were abandoned. That's a different school of thought.
School of thought, yeah.
You know, and because they've been abandoned, they've now totally sipped through our systems, our networks, and tried to, and now build little structures in various communities and attacking our people. And they are arguing. So that's another school of thought. So if these guys can attack our presidency, they are sending a strong message to President Buhari
get you easily.
that you are also not safe.
So there used to be negotiations with bandits. Some governors, I think,
El-Rufai, yes.
El-Rufai negotiated up until he stopped and said he wasn't going to continue because it was an unending, circle. And now the presidency, so they know that they have some form of arrangement with these people. It's not because I'm the president. No, I don't negotiate. They had some promises they made to these bandits. And it took them a while to give them the name that they deserved, the terrorists. They had to say, they had to conform with certain rules and went to court. So if you were going to court to declare a group of people fit to be to defend your people against them, it meant that, you can find them. And the governor of Katsina State, El-Rufai, said over and over again that we know where they are. We know where to find them. We know how they operate, because, of course, they have a face to them. That's the point. They have a face to them, and they owe them whatever they owe them. Now, the issue for me is, why is there some form of sympathy towards them? Because at this stage, what they have taken is beyond replaceable. You have had your citizens killed over and over. You have had your citizens attacked. It is, it's safe to say we are no longer all safe because people that, are in decision-making places or authorities, they will tell you if they want to travel. They will tell you that they have to calculate it. In the olden days, if they tell you your father they're sick for village, you enter bus.
Immediately.
You are going home. Now you will say, give me some days. In fact, you consult spiritual leaders.
I'm telling you.
They know. So if we have to live on the edge like that, we know we have a serious issue on our hands.
Let me take this call from Henry.
And if we are failed, we should...
Good morning, Henry. Are you there? Hello. Good morning, Henry. Are you there? I can't reach. You see, so I worry about these bandits. They feed. I mean, I don't know who can go hungry for months. Someone is feeding them. The ammunition they use, somebody is supplying. The bullets, somebody has to replace the bullets. So they get it. Somebody knows something.
So there are even different factions. They are the ones that you would call kidnappers who do it as a business. So they kidnap, they get the ransom, and then they release if the person is lucky or they kill. It depends. There are those ones who are full-blown terrorists. They are not after the money. They just want to pass a message to the country, like you just mentioned, that you promised us certain things and we're not getting it, so we're upset. So there are two factions like that. And, we've been talking, the governors have been talking, we need to do community policing, we need to do community. What will it take them to insist that this is what we're having? What will it take the National Assembly to insist that with the new conversations we're having, with the new reality we're facing?
They've called them they've called the chief of army staff. They've demanded, they've given them funds.
They're not ready.
That's not the solution. And they know it's not the solution. And I've said it several times that our National Assembly are more powerful than they behave.
Take on.
That the way they feel they are powerful, they don't carry that authority, that check that they should carry. They can veto the president. The National Assembly can say that in the interest of the nation, regardless of the executive, we are going to do this. And explain to the people, and explain to the president that we must insist on this change to the law.
They have an impeachment option, which they have chosen.
They are more powerful than they use their power. And
let's go on a break. This is an important point.
So sad.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a more phone. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue of insecurity, and I have Mr. Ola from Lugbe in Abuja. Good morning, Ola. Are you there? Hello, Ola. Hello. I think we're having some phone line issues. So we're discussing also the options available, because we're saying that, listen, when things get to this point, the reason why we have a lawmaking body is to check and say, if you cannot do the job, maybe it's time for you to be replaced. But why do our National Assembly and lawmakers feel so powerless? And the reason we have so many of them is so that they can argue each other out. But in this case, it is... I listened to someone speaking, one of the presidential candidates. The person was saying that he doesn't understand what are Nigerians complaining about on Twitter? Is bread cheaper in Kaduna than it is in Lagos? Actually, in the north, the fuel is more expensive over there. They've had crisis in Abuja for queues for fuel more than Lagos. So nobody should try and be, let the conversation be sincere. Everybody in the National Assembly understands what the average Nigerian is going through. We heard a very sad story of one of our makeup artists getting attacked in a house. One of my salons, they attacked, with the burglary door, they broke the door. We're talking more cases of robbery. We're talking kidnapping across the country. We're talking banditry. We're talking terrorism. Some people are sitting down and thinking that the situation is not tough enough for us to start thinking a different way and thinking that it is by talking to the chief of staff that we can solve the problem. It's not by talking to them anymore. They've done the best they can with what they have. Change of strategy. It is time to change strategy. What is the new strategy that we're going to do? Most of the governors that are feeling it are saying, give us state police. Let us try that approach. They have created behind the scene their own form of ways of creating state police. There's Amotekun, there is the East is doing their own. States had attack, and the assembly said, let us strengthen the vigilante. They did not say, let's call police. They did not say that because the policeman that was there was shot. The family of that policeman thrown into mourning. So we have lost many police officers. A VIP carry police officer is a flag for you are important. We are going to kidnap you. Right now, if you travel into the East, don't carry police because the police is they are the ones the presence of the police in your vehicle is a risk to your own life because they feel you are important, you are rich. That's why you can afford to have a police car. Yes, now we're dealing with.
When we leave things unattended.
Exactly.
This is not just about this administration. It's a failure of the military era into the past civilian administration up to today. When you leave things unattended, what you breed is anger, animosity, insurgency eventually. I was analyzing the situation of a robbery that happened when a neighbor's car got stuck within the tankers. I usually would lift him in the morning, so he keeps me coming and we're going to work. And he said, just yesterday, I ran and left my car for the robbers. I could only take my phone. Wow. Because when they come in opposite the Ojo barracks, they just come in like that. So the cars stuck in between the tankers, and they come with a gun. And I said to him, I went to command. When we were in school back then, in the 90s,
you cannot stand around.
We were in secondary school. Some of the soldiers who died in Liberia, their families were unattended. And if he left his pistol in the house, and a child angry with Nigeria for not helping their widow mother or sending them to school, what do we get?
Become the next robber.
Because I said to him, I remember back then, it was just like rumor that, the boys grew up and they said cultism then started in secondary school at the time. We must continue a system where the welfare of the people is extremely important. And now when you now get to this stage, now you negotiate with bandits, you still fail at that stage again. You don't put your money where your mouth is. You don't follow through your commitments. You leave people unattended. The person now thinks they should help themselves. The other day after the show when we talked about, licensing people to carry guns, and I said, no, I got a message from someone who said, Nigeria was the safest place before the Civil War. what happened post-Civil War was that people had guns and they had agitations. And so armed robbery became the order of the day across the country. We cannot continue to say, let people have guns when we know that post it, we might not have a plan.
Okay, let me take this call from Tunde. Tunde is calling from Offa. Good morning, Tunde. Are you there? Good morning, Tunde. Are you there?
Something is going wrong.
Banditry and terrorism has gone beyond criminality. When it starts happening over and over and over, it's a declaration of war. And every government that is serious-minded will take it as war. It's like sitting down in your house and people are encroaching with their arms and ammunition, and you are sitting down and saying, let's have a conversation. The time has passed to have those sort of conversations. What we need now are action plans. What we need now are a government that will look and say, this is the step we're going to take. Whether the presidency likes it or not, we are following through this. And even get international organizations to back them off if need be. This is war, full-blown war. And we've sat here over and over, we read in the newspapers, we hear people talk about it, conspiracy theories that one of the reasons we're not seeing the push that the National Assembly should have is because some of them are not just sympathetic to the plight of these terrorists, but they are part of it. People have accused them that today I'm still waiting for these governors to name names. They say they will name names in so and so weeks, in so and so months. We'll call the names of these politicians that are sponsoring. Till today, we have not gotten those names. So it just seems like nobody wants to say anything for fear. Nobody wants to say anything so that they no longer push them away from where they're supposed to be benefiting. Everybody's putting their interests forward. And that's why Nigerians are saying, if it touches you, you will understand the plight of the people.
Why is that governor of Ondo State saying this? We're going to have to get arms because somehow these bandits are getting arms. So if they can get arms, we also can also get arms because they are, so maybe not arm the citizens, but they've got to arm either Amotekun, they've got to arm the local vigilantes. Somebody has to be armed to protect the citizens within the local communities. Now, going back to the issue of local government, the effectiveness of local government. So within Katsina, Daura, there are local governments. What are they doing also? At least within in Lagos, we have this neighborhood watch. At least they observe what's good. They have an idea what time they came in, where they are. But in Katsina, in other states, do they have things where we have people monitoring? I know the land is really huge and vast. It's hard for you to, within towns, it's like long kilometers. But what are the local governments doing? I know they're not even empowered. Sometimes state government is not empowered to secure. It's local government. So it's like, we really need a total 360 change.
Yeah, so like I said, change of strategy. When we talk about local governments being able to see what they can do, maybe even within Lagos State, we're still saying our local government needs to be more effective. Then we're talking about a place where the land mass is like ×3, ×4 of Lagos State, and people are spread far apart. Then, who are the vigilantes? The vigilantes are hungry, Nigerians who think about it. I cannot come and die. And the person telling me to protect the community, what have they done for me? So I'm protecting my people. I'm taking ownership. And if the terrorists are more powerful than me, and I can see they're more powerful, it happens here. The police see armed robbers that carry big guns. They run away. Absolutely. They run. So what is this? How are we building that sense of loyalty?
We keep saying it's activity. When the burning happened.
When the burning happened, the police ran.
They sent us to, I think, was it 2 or 3 trucks of police? So when we entered Resume TV, that we thought we were feeling secure. The moment those boys came in, the police took off.
So, and we see it happen. The security men at the gate are watching you. They will open your boot and check everything. When the air gun shot, everybody would run. So we need to go back into... There's something a conversation I've had before. I said we need to start appreciating people. And that's why I'm always, even as much as I'm angry with the police officers sometimes, I would always appreciate them. I would always come on the show and extol them because I know the sacrifices they are making. We as a society need to start appreciating these little jobs because we cannot exist without them.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we're going to bring in our guest, who is a presidential candidate. Maybe he might have the solutions that we're looking for. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So many have heard of the Accord Party, but a lot of people didn't really pay attention to them until much recently when the former lawmaker, Shina Pella, became a member of Accord Party. And everybody says, who is Accord Party? Well, today, joining us on the show is the president of Global Wealth System and the presidential candidate of the Accord Party. We have with us Mr. Christopher Imumole. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Professor
Good to
Christopher.
have Professor, actually.
Yeah.
I do apologize. Professor Christopher Imumole. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
So, before you came on, we were talking about insecurity and other. But before we go into that, let's even meet you. Let's know who you are and why you became the flag bearer, or how you became the flag bearer for the Accord Party presidential flag bearer. Okay,
my name is Professor Christopher Imumole. I'm an academia. I had my first degree in University of Benin, my master's, University of Lagos, before I proceeded to having my PhD. I have 2 PhD, and I'm also the Vice Chancellor of Global Wealth University in Togo. I've been an academia for years, and I'm probably the youngest, the youngest in the presidential race. I'm 39, and I saw politics as an opportunity or a venture to solving more problems. I'm a philanthropist. If you check what we've been doing for the past 15 years, I've been actively involved in humanitarian support. Because I believe that the job of rescuing a nation is not just that of governance alone. Individuals like us should also see how we can also contribute to supporting lives. So we've been doing that, providing electricity, rural electrification, women's support. I'm the founder of Unique Foundation. It's an NGO that is focused on women support for business and for youth. We've been doing a lot with that. But looking at the events that have been happening from 1960 till date, where it seems as if we've been moving around the circle. I watched the show before coming in, and what has been happening, not just today, it has been happening, it's more like it. So for me, I believe it's time for people who believe they have what it takes to transform Nigeria, who understand the solution to every issues that surrounds Nigeria.
So let's start with the insecurity solution. What do you think? How do we go around this? What kind of solutions could you prefer to help in this situation? Okay,
number one, apart from every other challenges that bet insecurity, the major in all of them is economic hardship. I know we have religious problems, political, ethnic differences, but hardship. What happened yesterday in Katsina, it's basically, look at, even those that attack are not, they're not in the forest. When we had an attack on the former governor here in Lagos, they're not. There are people around who are trying to take advantage of an opportunity that, I also am able, I go out, I see the way they want to launch on us. They'll give us money, and if you don't manage those situations, it could turn to violence. Yes, so, and this is a reflection of the economic hardship. Katsina State has about 6 million people. How many industries do they have there? What are the frantic efforts of government to providing jobs? Currently, over 40-something% for FBS unemployment rate. But the truth is this, over 70% of the workforce of Nigeria are underemployed. We are producing for ourselves. People are supposed to be out there positively engaged. And when they do nothing, it results to what we currently have.
Yes.
Yes.
When we talk about these problems, people in power, when they come to respond, they say Nigerians' problem is complex. We're a lot of people, we're plenty. There's so many factors you need to think of. There are different tribes, different religions, different tongues, and you cannot come and be insensitive to some conditions. And so there's always a different approach of how to face a problem. So when you talk about economic plan now, for instance, they'll tell you, it's only grazing, across the country that can, because some people's history will be insulted, some people's history will be affected, How would you say these factors that, they clearly always bring forward, how would you say they would affect any plan that you have? And if you consider them also a factor, how would you face them?
Yeah, for me, Nigerian problem is not rocket science. Solving Nigerian problem is not rocket science. It takes a man that has the heart and the value of the people. Look at all our problems. You discover there is a problem of value. Yes, it takes a leader who has value for its people. Let me just shift away a little from security, which I'm going to come back. Look at educational problem. ASU strike. What is the reason behind that? That our children is still at home after 5 months, and nobody is trying to talk about it. It's like a forgotten issue.
Election is around.
To me, it's an issue of value. We need a leader who has that value. So, for example, looking at economic achievement and what you said about other leader coming on board to say, the problem of Nigeria is complicated. It's not complicated. Yes, it's not complicated. Yes, Nigeria to me, it's a country of, I call it the union of 6 wives. Whatever you do to one, you must do to all. Otherwise, you're going to divide the country yourself. So it's very important for me. So what we'll be doing, creating jobs for Nigeria is not a big deal. I just came from a travel where I've visited a lot of countries. And beyond that, you know, if you check my record, you will understand that I'm not just an academia. I've been into businesses for many years. And there's one thing I understand about Nigeria. We are the most populated black nation in the world. 200 million, that is a huge market. But as a country, we've not done our own work to have people come in and invest into this country. There are own work we need to do. There are things we need to do to make Nigeria safe. Issue of security. How can we combat security when we are not digitalized and investing in technology? How do we watch? In security, there are intelligence you must capture before crime would happen. Crime only happens when 2 things happen. One, opportunity to commit crime, and desire to commit crime. A man can have a desire to commit crime, but once the opportunity is not there, crime will not happen. In Nigeria, the opportunity is there because we are not copying that opportunity. We have 2 satellites. And most of them are even, some of them are they're outdated. They're not even, how do we watch? You know that part of the world.
We lost one during wasn't just time.
Yes, one is there, but it's expired already.
Okay.
How do, in other countries, government watch the activity of the people, but in Nigeria, only God watches us.
Okay, let's talk for coming
I hear you, and we've interviewed a lot of presidential aspirants, a few presidential candidates, and some of them you just feel like this person is just, they're not ready. I listen to you, and I'm feeling like, you should be more involved. Why choose Accord? Because it's very, we've not had the precedence of a, what do you call those parties? Fringe party getting into power. And we need your brain to give advice to the people that are already in power. So why didn't you think of getting into the main parties, fight your way through with your intelligence and all this knowledge that you have to see how you can influence what is on ground, as opposed to thinking you can come in from another party and shake up the structure?
Let me say this. The problem of Nigeria is Nigeria ourselves. It's not God-made problem. And the system with which you go through to solve the problem matters a lot. I have a belief, I don't know, but that is my belief, that the man that will radically solve the problem of Nigeria must come outside the system that we have. It's just like an organization. Once an organization is having a repeated problem all over again for 30 years, what you must do at that time, you must look for someone outside that organization to come in, someone who don't have any affiliation with any member. Because the problem is internally. Look at the problem of our security, just analyze. This problem is, we caused the problem ourselves. There are a lot of interest involved. So we must begin to look at someone who does not have an affiliation with, it might be very difficult, like I understand, but we must fight through. That is what we are doing, to make sure that we fight through, because I'm not just running for political office because I want to become a president. I'm running because I have seen a lot of problems, and I know I can solve those problems. For me to solve it, I must go through a system that,
You talked on education recently, and I mean, I was going through the list of cut-off marks. I think it's either for the common entrance or WASC. I'm not sure which one this was, but I got it from a very reliable source. There are different cut-off marks for different states, and I would like you to address what you would do when you become president. There are states like Abia State is a 130 cut-off mark. Lagos State had about is 139, 133. Enugu 134. But some states like Zamfara, 4 for male, 2 for female. This is an example. Yobe, 2 for male, 27 for female. Taraba, 3 for male. Ogun State, 131. Niger State, 93. Kogi, 119. So there is...
It's like we're joking.
It's like we're joking with ourselves.
we are not.
So in some areas, if you just get scores 2, you can pull through. What do we do to ensure that the quality of people that we are raising in the Nigeria system is actually functional for this new 21st century that we're in?
Yeah, see, let me say this. When it comes to education, if you check, I'm not saying this, just check my profile. I'm probably the most educated. Yeah, I also own a university. It means that I have value for education. I'll be giving scholarship. After this show, I'm going for a show where I'll be giving about 100 and something students scholarship into university. I understand what it takes. One, we live in a country that our educational system is decayed, especially in the north. And I'm not saying this because I'm from the south, but it's the reality. We must start all over, from the nursery and primary school, especially the government-owned schools. It's very, very important. There are no facilities. And again, what I also propose is, one, if we, as a nation at this stage, do not start thinking about digitalizing every sector, most especially the educational sector, teaching. And many people actually felt that, oh, those in the north are not digitally savvy, they don't understand. They are already. For us to have an equilibrium in our educational balancing from the south and north, digital education will help a lot. Yes, because, one, the quality of those teaching them matters. Yes, I am an oil and gas person also, and sometimes we have oil and gas training in other places, and it's very difficult for us to even find an instructor that can teach oil and gas engineering in a particular state, looking for instructors. So how do we make sure that I'm a professor and I want to teach someone in Zamfara so that they can have the same knowledge and quality like a student in Lagos? Employing digital education is one of...
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have with us Professor Chris, I like to call you. Imumulen. So, yes, go ahead.
Yes, so I like what I'm hearing this morning, and I'm excited because the problems we're having in the country is not because we don't have great minds. It's not because we're not intelligent enough. It's just because there's something about the system when you finally get in where you are stifled by everything. Democracy is there to slow you down. This rule of law is there to slow you down. The people working around you are there to sabotage you if it's not working in their interest. Are you thinking in that direction to say, how do I stay above and insist that this is what I want to do and go ahead and do it? Because Nigeria will happen to you if you finally get there. And people who, you know, like the cabal, the people who run the country want to make their input and tell you how it's going to work.
Yeah, I truly understand that. And that is why I chose Accord as a party to run under, because we know those persons who they've tried their best to have governed Nigeria to this point, but it's just that their best have not been able to pick Nigeria to where it ought to be. So first, selecting credible team is very key to me. And most importantly, one of the very first things I'm going to do is to digitalize the economy. It's very key. Because any system that has so much human input for a process to go through would always be born to have a lot of corruption. So we are going to look at digitalizing a lot of processes.
The system will push back, because I can tell you for a fact that even digitalizing in small groups, the kind of pushback government gets, that wants ordinarily to digitize a system within the civil service, the kind of pushback you get. So it's not going to be that easy. NUT will come out, carry placard. Who are the other ones that always carry placard? NLC. Everybody will start carrying placard, and they'll cripple your government.
No. It will be done, and it will be done with wisdom. Yes. When the follower begin to see a leader that is moving in the direction of the masses, I tell you, there's going to be a lot of acceptance. What is happening now is, you know, everything rise and fall on leadership. The kind of leader you have, the body language, and what is doing matters a lot to how the responses you get. Yes, there will be pushback by those who don't want the system to work. Yeah. But once you begin to see that you have a leader who is concerned about the welfare of his people, whose policies is geared towards the people, whose body language is towards the people, believe me, once there's a pushback from those who don't want the system to work, there will be reinforcement from those who want it to work. Yes.
So there's a people way of life factor here that we have not even considered. So Nigerians encourage what that we are having. When we turn our blind eyes to a lot of misnomers around us. And we see it, you never reach my turn, no reach my side. So, and you can't rule or lead yourself. You have to lead a people. That particular way of doing things that Nigerians are already comfortable or used to live it is not that much. It's not really that hard. I mean, the issue of no consequence. What are you going to do to change that mindset in the shortest time? Because it's 4 years for your first term, if you can get in, and another maximum of 8 years. If you want to see results, you need a mind shift of the people. How are you going to start? How are you going to do that?
You know, first, Nigeria have only accepted to live this type of lifestyle because the system accepts it. That is why when you see Nigeria leave the shores of Nigeria, they adapt immediately.
Before.
It's the system. Once the system is designed, see, adaptability is now one of the characteristics of human being. It was not there before in our days. It was called Mr. Niger D, but now it's marriage. Adaptability has been because human beings adapt to the system. Once you design a system, the design of Nigeria's system allows us to operate because there's no consequence. There's no reward for good. There's no, people are killing them. How many people have been arrested? How can a president convoy be attacked? Even if it's the, what's it called, the advanced team, and we are living like this. So it's the system. We have gradually become a country that has a serious systemic problem.
Let's talk about the Constitution, because, I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, there is that, the fact that people feel that there's no equity across that document. The fact that a certain group feel marginalized. Yeah. And that group feels like, yes, we are the dominant force, and you cannot win an election without us. So there are so many factors. So as a candidate, what are you doing to get to these various ethnic differences and religious differences across the country to get them to know that you are here and you're a solution to our problem? You
know, I'm from a polygamous home. Let me start from that. My father married too, so I know what it takes when one sector of, you know, even Nigeria is, we are from a unit of a family. Let's look at it. And I said this, that Nigeria is a union of 6 wives. Whatever is done to one must be done to all. For you to have equity. Don't say, oh, this particular wife is so wicked, let me give. Then what you are doing is you are making another wife wicked. Since wickedness will bet more advantage. So we are going to be looking at that document, the Constitution. I, for one, believe that if we have a ministry of, for example, a particular region, then you must have ministry for all the region. That is fairness. Yeah. That is fairness. Don't say, oh, we are giving ministry to this region because so they are destroying. I'm from the south. I should even, but we need a neutral leader who says this is it. We must look at those documents. We must look at.
I like that, 6 wives.
Yes, we must. It's a union. It's a polygamous union of 6 wives. Whatever is done to one must be done to all.
And those 6 wives, they have plenty children. They have Edo inside, they have these, they have more children.
And they feel like they should have more because they have more children.
No, yes, they feel that they have. For example, we talk about local government sharing. Yeah. For me, local government sharing should not be done on the basis of land mass, on the basis of population. Simple. Because allocation is to the people, not to the land. So we need to begin to look at how to. So when we talk about constitutional reform, it's key for us to move forward as a nation.
So the Accord Party will look at.
We strongly look at it. A neutral president is what we are going to.
I'll come to you, Tokwe. Let me take this call from Charles. He's calling from Germany. Good morning, Charles.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is my first time of calling.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and secondly, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Please, I want to comment on that of the attack on our president.
Yes, go ahead, please. It's your view.
Yeah. I think it's a very good sign, and it's a message that was sent to him. If somebody like that can be attacked, what about the ordinary citizens on this side? And I strongly believe that our politicians, our leaders, really knows exactly what is wrong with Nigeria, especially in security aspect. Because with what is happening, with what is going on, with their body language, there is no doubt that they really know what is going on in our security situation in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
The killings is very, very enough for them to rise up against it. There are much sentiment in what is going on in Nigeria's security.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Tokwe.
So I wanted to ask you, because I hear you and I love what you're saying. You know, you are speaking our language, you're talking to the issues. And I wish that many people would just hear and be able to implement what you're doing, because we cannot even wait till next year to start implementing these ideas. how about, how open would you be with working with this current administration within the time frame that we have to sort of see how you can, and I know you feel like you need a neutral person, but is it possible for you? Do you see any possibility?
Did they offer you the opportunity to work with them?
With this current administration to try and create a short term, because from now to next year, we far, you know, and we need to do something.
Yeah, okay. Number one, the challenge here is how do we solve the problem we are in? For example, look at what I did to ASU. Personally, I had to open one of the digital learning site of a partner university, and I said, all Nigerians are home now due to ASU strike. Go online, register, and study for free with the university. I did that myself. Gave all Nigerian university students who are at home, because I understand the value for education. You know, when you have, sorry, I'm coming back to your question. When you have, what's it called, disruption in academic calendar, what you have done is, people don't even understand what that means. It's like taking medication and you have dosage and you stop halfway. You know, when you have to start all over again to get that treatment. So when you have this student, by the time they go back to school, they would have forgotten all they were taught from year one.
Before.
And it will affect national development, competitive advantage of our own citizens towards international build. I don't look at Nigeria. Nigeria is a country in the globe. We must have competitive edge. By now, Nigerian students should be thinking about space, going to space, building space technology, robotic, artificial.
We're trying to eat.
That is the problem. So, I, for one...
So why are they not even having online classes in the interim?
Which people? The ones on strike?
Is it the professors that will teach?
Okay, people, they're on strike.
Yes,
please, let me let you jump in.
Let me just ask you this question. So I know that the founding fathers of Nigeria, when they sat down and had a conversation, the idea was to have a democracy that will be based on regions, a regional federalism, where every region can know the needs of their people and present it to the center. But after the military, everything was now changed. That's where the beginning of our problem changed to a unitary system of government where it now seems like nothing happens till an order drops from the head. Considering the number of, even at the time they had this, we're not even as many as we are now. Considering that, do you think that the right thing is to go back to that truth? Because Nigeria, honestly, in my opinion, this is not a democracy, this is not federalism, this is not what we're operating. We have a name for it. So do you think that in solving our problems, we need to go back to the original design of Nigeria?
Yeah, I think that in solving our problem, we must look at our country holistically and begin to look at our peculiarity based on region and begin to look at how we can tackle this issue. I believe so much that we must begin to give power to states, to region, so that they can also control their resources. It's very key. And have them productive again. You know, in Nigeria, we have more than 4,000 mineral resources yet unexplored because of this system of government, where everybody rely on the federal for everything. So you make the state lazy. Because every month what they do is they wait for federal allocation. Yeah. But yes, we need to begin to look at that. And that is part of what we are going to do. We need to begin to see Nigeria beyond just a country. How do we run Nigeria as a business entity? Not in a way that every state should also be productive. And what federal government should do is to support and give that relevant and what's it called, trade support to each state to be able to harness their resources and also add to what Lagos State is doing fantastic. Port Harcourt and some states that have opportunity to have people, to have businesses, to have access to crude oil and the rest of them. What about other states?
So it seems like the foundation of your manifesto is really economic growth, which I think is what I'm taking from you. Let me let you mention here.
So the kind of politics that is done in Nigeria again is one that they will say, where is your structure? So we've seen presidential candidates, governorship candidates who cannot win their own constituency. What's your network on this plan like? Because you know the reality is different from what we're saying. So you're an amazing candidate. I've heard you. I've listened to you, and I wish and pray that you'd become president. But if the structure kind of politics they run remains a factor, how would you tackle that?
Yeah, okay. You should know that this particular election is the longest since 1999. We normally would have 3 months after primaries to election. Now we're having 8 months. So for us, it's good. And if you also study my antecedents, you understand that I personally have been involved in a lot of grassroots mobilization for the past 15 years. Yes, personally, I've worked with Unique Foundation that has over 5 million membership across Nigeria with people, individuals who have been supported all over the 36 plus FCT 37 states. And we understand that we have 176,000 plus polling units, and we know that we must fix agents in all these polling units. We must get people to vote for us. We understand that. We are building our structure. We already have, and we are building more structure. We are collaborating. We might not be out there shouting, making noise. But let me say this. Election this year, next year will be won by strategy, not by noise. If it's by noise, look at some parties. I won my primary. There are other aspirants in my party that made more noise than myself, but I was more concerned about the votes. How will I get 20 million people? How will I work to get them? That is my concern. I know what I need, and I'm working towards that.
You know, it's interesting because what I love most about this season is the fact that we're seeing lots of people like you come out. Because what NSAS taught us, like, let's say, we cannot remain the way we are going to.
Right.
So regardless of what happens in 2023, the fact that there's so many younger people coming into the picture that you can't say you don't have options. You can't say there's only APC, PDP. You cannot. Because there are so many other parties coming up with new faces. And I like that you said strategy, because I was telling you that my husband had 4 friends that were running for politics. 3 of them made noise in all the major stations. They put on social media. They were making noise. He was sort of like, wow, wow, wow. All of them lost. He was the last one that didn't hear how. He didn't even know he was even running for office. He was doing groundwork, strategy. He was talking to the people. Now he can collect tickets. So it's not about noise making, which I like that. But let's go back to your candidacy. Who is your vice presidential candidate, and how did you? Because now they are talking about we have to select. You have to carefully know where you're coming from. How did you select your candidate, and what are the factors you consider? Because this is always a factor in these kind of issues.
Yeah, my VP is Sule Ahmed from Zamfara. He was a former SSG to Zamfara State government, and is a strong member of the Accord, and is also a strong Northerner. You know, I'm from the South. And of course, for fairness and equity, I'm a South Christian, so I must be looking at the North Muslim. You know, I know. So he's from Zamfara, and he's a technocrat. He's also a politician, and we believe that union is a good one to harness both the South and North. Are
you married, sir?
Yeah, I'm married with 5 kids. Yeah.
Don't pass me. You pass me. You pass me.
They're all boys. So.
Oh, you have 5 boys?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, then. Try again. You born for not the
old children.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. I'm happy that somebody passed me. Fantastic. Hallelujah.
Yes.
But we wish you all the best. The truth is that, I mean, as I said, we knew of Accord, but there was not so much noise until Shina Pella became a member recently.
And it was because of the way he came in.
Yeah, so we're all like, well, what is Accord Party? But I'm happy that obviously you have a lot of leaders who are quality, and I know Shina Pella has always been one to push quality leadership. So for him to join the party, he must have also studied that you guys have a whole bunch of quality content.
You didn't answer my question, and it was really important.
Please answer. You have about 1 minute.
Working with the current administration.
To advise, and we're already working indirectly by supporting all what they have not come here today to castigate their work. I have not come here to speak against any. I'm going to be engaging in positive campaign. It's not about what this person. I'm looking at the problem and how do we solve the problem. That is what I agree. So if, for example, now we are asked to advise, it's about the nation. We have to advise to. It's about the people. Every day we are losing life. You know, if 200,000 people die in Nigeria today, no world leader will send a condolence letter. We are left to ourselves. Because our conflict is self-inflicted. Our crisis is by ourselves. So we
have to run. Final words to your voters.
This is the time for us to vote for personality. Let's check our credentials. Let's check what we have done. If I had given thousands of Nigerian scholarship with my personal funds, then it tells you that I'm willing, capable, able to resolving Nigeria problem within the shortest period of time.
We wish you the best, Professor Chris. All right, that's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.